on Twitch TV, of course made possible in part by our friends at Games in Asia and Esports Heaven. My name is Rapid, I'm here with Nero, and you can see the Game 1 stats on your screen. LGD with a 24-minute victory versus World Elite. The late game never came. World Elite will drop game number 1. And the MVP, of course, in the mid lane is Wayless. 503. They spirited the Spectral Wraith Orianna, farmed up the Storm, and just kind of one-shot everybody.
And just showed up at the very ending of the game, actually. But yeah, the thing that worries me the most is Xiaomei in the top lane. He didn't do pretty much anything in this game. He had this Cassidon, but he wasn't roaming a lot because he was in the top lane, so there's not much of a roaming opportunity for him. Then when he used the teleport, he just went down in the bottom lane, and then World Elite just failed their rotations, which led to them losing the middle lane inhibitor and eventually the game. So World Elite definitely not at the top form, and well, they are looking for the first place, and it's not the way that they will find it.
Well, it's the way Wayless will find it. An incredible performance there. Against a late game team comp, he picked an item that let him hit a power spike that we all thought was going to come like way later on in the game, but he had like 3.5 to 4 items by the 25-minute mark, and that's pretty impressive, and put them to very impressive use. Took out World Elite, just dismantled the entire team at the end there. So World Elite, they've switched their strategy, or lack thereof, up to this sort of farm for the late game, pick hyper carries kind of deal. And LGD is such a good early positioning kind of team that they just really heavily punished them. They didn't let them AFK farm, they forced them to fight. They just showed them how much better they were as far as their early to mid game team comp versus World Elite's late game.
Right, so the picks and bans phase was something that we didn't expect from World Elite. Of course, right now, Lucian in the middle lane is quite a strong champion, but I still think that it works better in the AD carry position. But this Cassidon in the top lane, that was the most interesting thing. I think it was more about not giving it away to LGD than taking it for themselves, because they certainly didn't have a plan going into this game for this Cassidon, as he didn't do anything, as I said.
All right, well, coming into game number 2, I'm expecting at least one Lucian, but you always have to keep an eye on the top lane. And honestly, last game, there were 3 top lane bans. Well, I mean, there was an Alistar ban, which could be top lane or support. We haven't really seen it top in China at all just yet, so still waiting on that fad to get over here. It's all the rage in EU, but might make its way this direction. Coming up in time for playoffs, which should be, let's see, this is, or next week is the last week of LPL of the regular season, so we're coming to a close, and if you're looking for first place, well, you have to get there now. And at least a couple of predictions for who will wind up in first place depended on that last game. I believe for World Elite to get first place, they had to 2-0, but with their loss in game 1, then, well, they kind of put themselves out of the running for that.
There is a big possibility of the tiebreakers anyway. Right now, after OMG actually lost a game yesterday, after World Elite lost a game right now, and the Starhorn putting up some kind of a weird performance actually too, because they split 1-1. So the standings are still quite close, and the tiebreakers, as I said, will most probably be happening right here. But still, we do have EDG playing some games. We do have OMG playing a best of 2 next week, but Starhorn, they are the guys that will not play anymore.
That's true. Starhorn are done, and that's a pretty big advantage because that allows them to just kind of AFK farm some practice games from now up until the playoffs of the Chinese regionals. So it's really good for them because they get a long time to practice. But for all the other LPL teams, they have to fight it out until the very end. The guy's doing something like crazy with his eyebrows as they panned over him. I don't know what's up with that. Just showing the huge Chinese crowd that's come out tonight with the biggest teams in LPL fighting it out. It's nice to see the fans coming out to cheer them on. So just waiting it out while we fix some issues before our second game of the night. We talked about what World Elite had to do to get first place, but for LGD, they are just looking to make the playoffs. They need to 2-0 World Elite to keep their playoff dreams alive. Now, I believe if they do 2-0 World Elite, then they still have one more game to play next week. So it's close. It's good, and it's looking good for LGD to get the 2-0 over Wii.
Yeah, definitely they are looking for the playoffs right here, so it's a shot at the World Championship, so that definitely is a big thing, to say the least. And World League, they do have it secured already, so they might give a chance to LGD.
A chance, yes, but how good a chance is that going to be? LGD, at least as far as going 2-0 this game, it was predicted by, I believe, one of the casters. We'll see if they can make it happen. Hopping into picks and bans for game number 2, LGD. They're your team on the left, of course, taking on World Elite in the red on the right. First ban will be Rengar versus Axine, and honestly, I think Rengar is one of Axine's worst champions, or at least it's one that he's been struggling on lately. Confusing to see the bans target him so early on, and it should actually be a relatively similar ban phase. Looking for an Alistar ban here from LGD, because they did ban those 3 champions out last game.
Yep, and World Elite, well, they don't really need to switch anything up.
Yeah, there's the Alistar ban.
But if they don't switch anything up, it's gonna be a bad time for them once again. And if they do, it still is gonna be a bad time for them, because they will give away some other champions to LGD. At this point, World Elite are definitely struggling a lot, right? They had very comfortable champions the previous game. They had the Tristana on Wei Xiao most importantly, and it still didn't work out.
So last ban coming in here for Wii. Do you ban the Corki? Do you ban the Orianna? Like, I'm not sure. Make away from LGD. They'll ban the Jax from 17. I don't really feel like that was the problem. I mean, Sao Mei didn't have a good lane phase against him, but honestly, that was not the issue. And with the ban on Jax, you give up Lucian? Like, Maokai and Lucian, like, those are kind of the must bans so far, but I don't think a lot of teams have really realized the true potential of Lucian, especially not Ninja from that last game. Ugh, that did not do it for me as far as mid lane Lucians were concerned. But it's locked in for LGD, and this will probably be an AD carry Lucian because it's one of the XQ's strongest champions.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we do have the World Lead strat to give away the Lucian and take away the other comfortable champions, like Thresh from BYL and Lee Sin from Chuan. But Wayless, if he goes for this Orianna once again, it definitely is going to be a strong one, but we need someone to engage on the lineup of LGD, so we'll get to see what champion it is for the top lane.
Oh, they're going for the Invisible. The Invisible champion might be locking in the Elite, or the Evelynn. It's hovered over. It's not locked in just yet, and they still can go for things like Elise, Jarvan, even Lee Sin's left open, but they wound up giving that away to World Elite a little bit earlier. So Sin on Lee Sin up against an Evelynn is actually a pretty good matchup for World Elite, but look at the lock-in from Ninja. AP Kog'Maw bringing it out again, looking for the late game. World Elite. If it doesn't work first time, maybe second time's the charm.
Now we'll get to see. So Kog'Maw once again for Ninja. It's always an interesting thing to see this AP Kog'Maw call into play, but it usually fails, so if it finally explodes and does really well, like UZI getting a pentakill, so maybe Ninja gets a pentakill this game, then it's definitely gonna be outstanding. But on the other hand, Blitzcrank covered over by PYL, and it's gonna get locked in.
Oh, but wait a second. No. LGD
Again.
are going to do World Elite strat against them. This time they won't put the Lucian mid lane. They'll do that 80 carry, slam Wayless mid once again on his Orianna, and that is going to be a top lane Kassadin for 17. Like, is that a thing and we just never knew about it because Kassadin gets banned all the time? I know they've tried it a couple times in Korea, but it didn't. I think it was Trinity Force Kassadin that I saw in OGN, but 17, he'll be playing Sao Mei's champion against him, and Xiaomei went for Dr. Mundo, so there's not really a whole lot of pressure on Kassadin, who has a shield for the magic damage and the ability to just outrun Dr. Mundo, which not a lot of champions can do if they get hit by a cleaver.
Yeah, but still not much of a roaming opportunity for this Kassadin, and well, I once saw an Orianna in the top lane, an AD Orianna in the top lane that completely carried the game, but I don't think that it would happen right here in the LPL. Still, I'm not a big fan of this Kassadin in the top, especially after what Xiaomei did in the previous game.
Hey, Xiaomei tried top lane Fizz before, and it sucked super hard, so you gotta give the guy credit for trying, but honestly, some of the tries don't really work out too well. We'll have to see if 17 maybe knows something that we don't. Traditionally, you'd think that Xiaomei maybe has a one-on-one matchup advantage versus 17, just player on player. But, I mean, 17 did a much better job in that game number 1, maybe due to that Kassadin pick. So, I think this is a much better lane to pick Kassadin into because there's not a whole lot of pressure from Dr. Mundo. But definitely something to keep an eye on. Of course, you also have to keep an eye on the AP Kog'Maw that the Ninja locked in. That is something that he played in one of World Elite's most recent wins, but once again, also not something that we're too used to seeing. Although, I guess Wayless does pull that out every once in a while, so nice to see Ninja picking it up as part of World Elite's late game team composition.
So usually Xiaomei should be able to deal with 17 in the top lane, should be able to play a little bit better, but picking up this Mundo, as you said, there's not going to be a lot of pressure on this Kassadin, and Kassadin can outrun him and maybe change the fight somewhere around the map with a teleport. But still, is it going to be the farming Kassadin only for 17 right now? Because, of course, Mundo is a little bit unkillable.
Well, here we go. We're hopping in. We're not opping into anything. We're hopping it. Not literally. I'm not actually hopping. Actually, I'm pretty excited. Not quite that excited, though. LGD, World Elite game number 2. Of course, LGD won the first game. And if you missed the first series of the night, it was a 1-1 split. Starhorn wound up grabbing that last game pretty spectacularly, and you'll be seeing those plays around for a very long time. But LGD looking to make some other big plays of their own. Game 1 started with a very aggressive 5-man invade into the enemy jungle. This time, it's looking not quite the same. They're all grouping up mid, looking for PYL to land a PULL.
But not much is gonna happen.
Honestly, Blitzcrank, how do you feel about that, Nero? Because A, we don't see a lot of Blitzcranks, but this is PYL's Blitzcrank, which is a little something special.
Yeah, he loves to play Thresh, so now that this Thresh gets taken away from him, he goes for a Blitzcrank. Of course, this champion also has a pull, but I don't know how it's gonna work, especially if you have, like, Mundo in the enemy team. If you grab a Mundo, he's gonna tank you up. If
He's
you
like,
grab a
hey, thanks for the free gap closer. Now you have a Mundo in the middle of your team. But
yeah, if you grab a Tristana, she'll run away. Not much you can do. If he grabs a Kog'Maw, of course, it will be perfect.
yeah, and that is actually something to talk about. There's a little micro trick you can do with Tristana where if you use your rocket jump right as you get grabbed, it'll disjoint the hit stun and give you your rocket jump away, and the grab won't work. So just an option that Wei Zhao has. If they do decide to go for this 2v2, but with the way that the lanes are matching up, it should be a 2v1, which is the bane of all Kassadin's existence. Like, this is horrible for 17, because he's not going to get CS. He wants to double jungle, but he's on the opposite side of the map from his jungler, and the jungle is getting invaded. So this is about the worst start you could hope for if you're LGD. Your top laner's cut off from your jungler, although he can TP to the jungle. That is an option. But just a rough start as far as the solo lanes are concerned.
Okay, the headset is on for XQ, so maybe we are coming back, but a lot of referees right there around World Elite's lineup.
And a lot of people in the crowd. Look at those guys. One of them is like, okay, they're just picking the World Elite hype scrolling message on their iPad or whatever that is. I can't read it, but I'm guessing it's something pretty cool about World Elite. There's a guy, or there's a girl with a really cute bunny drawing right behind her. I wish they could zoom in on that so I can see that. Big fan, cute bunny drawings. Of course, a lot of Thunder Sticks. I believe sometimes, depending on the teams who are playing, they have like team icons on the thunder sticks so that you can like thunder stick on your favorite team. I think I see some of them. There's like blue ones and white ones, and I think I saw some red ones earlier on. But lots of people anxiously awaiting World Elite. One of the more popular teams in China, just because they have so much star power. But I don't know. They lost a 24-minute game to LGD in Game 1, so might need to cash in on some of that star power here in Game 2.
Yeah, and actually a lot of teams brought the Korean players into the scene, and they were doing bad at the very beginning with them, and they gradually started improving. But World Elite, they were doing well at the very beginning with the Korean players, and now they are in sort of a slump. So that's some kind of an inverse logic right there. But yeah, talking about the bunny and a bear, actually, Ninja is considered to be a bunny for World Elite, and then the jungler is considered to be the bear, and they get a lot of drawings and plushies.
Plus, if you bring cute drawings to LPL, they actually do prize giveaways for people who make cool fan signs and stuff in the audience. So maybe you win something cool. But yeah, you can see a lot of fan signs. That one is drawn on a box and says LGD is super awesome. Also, I love bunnies or something like that. Of course, can't quite read that, but the guy's holding up a laptop. A lot of messages for the fans. Can't see what's on the laptop, but that guy is pretty dedicated bringing his laptop to LPL.
Yeah, definitely. And oh well, we're waiting for the tech issues to get figured out. Actually, I hope there's no remake coming, because we've actually seen one remake in the World Elite matches.
Yeah, that's true. Remakes not the greatest way to play the game, especially since the level 1 strats are actually very far in the advantage of World Elite right now, so if they do have to remake it, might not get such a good start. Because they actually tricked LGD into going for the standard lane matchups, and so that sends Kassadin not only into the 2v1, but it also means that he won't be able to double jungle like World Elite are already set up to do, so a little bit of a rough start. But pause seems to have been fixed, and we should be hopping back into the game. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, and we're good. LGD and World Elite back on the Rift.
Alright, so Sin, honest, comfortable champion. On the other hand, you have an Evelyn for Chuan, and as you said, not a nice start for him, but Wei Xiao, a lot of damage in the top lane, and they are looking for the 2v1. That's what we expected in the first game, but they're going for it in the second one, because Conan is a roaming support and they want this 2v1.
Yeah, they might actually be looking for the 4v0 dives, but yeah, 17 got out of that lane as quickly as he possibly could. 1v1s in the mid lane aren't really going to be very eventful, because Ninja's just going to power farm that out using the Void Use to wave clear. But look at World Elite. What they did is, okay, they forced 17 to... Wait, is this an early dragon? Yeah, I guess this is going to be early dragon. When you send your dual lane top, you kind of give up that dragon pressure. So could be what World Elite are, or what LGD are going to look for. But they might go for this big pressure move mid. Going to have to clear out some CS. And I don't think PYL is going to be in any position to land a grab here. So LGD, and plus Kassadin just walked over a ward too. So Ninja will be aware of all this action coming his way.
Yeah, and this is a cog mob, so if they land something, this is gonna be the end of him. However, as he said, it's gonna be really hard to pull it off. But the dragon is still an opportunity, a possibility for LGD. But they will exchange it for a turret in the top. Actually, we have a recall from Conan, so they give up a little bit of pressure in the top.
Well, there's really not too much to do up top lane. Wei Xiao's just going to sit there and AFK farm for the first 10 minutes. Or at least like the first 5 or 6, depending on how early World Elite want to take down that turret. But this is a really perfect start for World Elite. They get their hyper carry farming. They force Kassadin to get very far behind. Kassadin's still level 1 at the 4-minute mark. And they really hurt the overall experience for World Elite, or for LGD. But now, Chuan's gonna come in and try to help out 17, force the flash out from Kassadin. The cleaver lands, and Chuan's gonna be forced to flash out, but he comes and flashes back to PYL. The grab to come down onto Conan. He will go down for first blood, and now Salve is trying to flash away, and does so successfully. He gets out alive. Holy cow. LGD, biggest grab of PYL's life right there, and turns the fight around. Probably will get his team Dragon off the back of that.
A ton of flashes burned right there in this fight, and PYL, he gets the grab, he secures a kill. So there goes the answer.
17 almost ties the dragon. Lee Sin coming in, he gets the steal on the dragon. They're just gonna leave. Xiaomei is just like, peace out, man.
Kills Xiaomei.
Okay, yeah, Xiaomei is gonna get grabbed back in there, and he should be going down here thanks to the red buff on XQ. And there's the piercing light to pick up the kill. So 2 kills, another big grab for PYL, but a smite steal on the dragon. Axine coming up big.
He killed 17, but still not worth it in my opinion. You give 3 assists to a Blitzcrank, 3 kills to a Lucian, and 3 assists to
another
another.
grab, this time onto Conan, locking him up underneath the turret, but doesn't want to take too many turret shots. XQ is going to get out of there. And yeah, that is good. I actually missed the kill onto 17, who dropped dangerously low because he's trying to dragon at level 2, which did not work out for him as he tanked a couple of shots there. So 3-1 starts, looking good, and all 3 of those kills went to XQ.
Yeah, so Sin, a brilliant play at the dragon fight, but it still didn't really pay off the world lead too much. And if LGD bring the first turret of the game down, they will actually be in the big lead.
Keep in mind this 3-0, you'd be like, oh, the Lucian's kind of ahead. But this is XQ we're talking about. XQ not only gets a lot of hype for being one of the more underrated AD carries of China, and especially when you're in a league with guys like Kid, Wei Zhao, Name, guys like that, like, you're gonna have to really stand out to make your way up in the echelon. And XQ may not be super great on every champion, but his Lucian is one of the best. And especially on a patch that really favors LGD's playstyle, where you can roam everywhere and get a lot of benefit from that, Lucian is a great champion to pick. He's got all the buffs here in this patch, and he's on a player who knows how to play him. So that, with PYL hitting like every single grab, LGD can't keep him down.
Yeah, so FZZF was actually usually the one that hovers over the Blitzcrank and trolls, but then doesn't pick him in the end, and PYL goes for it and pulls it off quite successfully. So maybe in the next game of EDG we will see this champion coming out once again.
I don't know, man. It's a little bit too early to predict stuff like that. I mean, Insect loves to troll by hovering over Shaco, and he locked it in too, so maybe the trolls are coming to war. Here in LPL, some mutual wave clearing going on. Chuen and Conan taking out ward coverage around the Baron. Of course, Baron has not yet spawned because we're only 7 minutes into the game, but feels like we're a lot later on. A lot of early aggression. XQ, he's loving it. LPL is his personal fast food chain. Kisame, bottom lane, just desperately trying to CS. XQ might take down the first turret of the game there, because Mundo's not really putting on too much pressure.
Yeah, and actually talking about XQ, not only he got 3 kills, but actually he's kind of keeping up in farm against Wei Xiao. So if Wei Xiao dies once, he's gonna fail this Tristana once again, and World League has lately usually been focusing around Wei Xiao to get farmed, and then get fed, and then win the game for them.
Conan trying to put on the pressure. Keep in mind, Wei Zhao has been just AFK farming this entire time. Hasn't really been there for a lot of action. He's looking to take down the top turret, but he's going to be a little bit behind XQ, who was able to take down his first turret of the game, the first turret for LGD. Wayless not really feeling too much pressure here. He'll be stuck behind his turret CSing. We'll see what World Elite can do off of a little bit of extra freedom. Well, step number 1 is trying to protect their blue buff. XQ and PYL are trying to take it down, and barring anything spectacular, Axine goes over the wall and he gets the blue buff steal, but he runs into 3. Will safeguard back out. PYL misses the grab that would have gotten him that kill.
And he misses that one quite horribly. I think he saw where both Lee Sin and Mundo were, but actually doesn't pull it off. And once again, the buffs being so important, I thought that someone is gonna give away his life for a buff once again.
Yeah, I don't understand why. Like Chinese teams, they fight for buffs. If you're gonna steal their buff, they'll suicide for it. They'll give you the buff, but they will make sure that they smite that one down. Saw it a lot in game number 1, and it was not always the best option to go suicide for the buff. But Axine gets it. He gets out alive. maybe gives up a little bit of pressure because he got chunked out so hard. Still a 1-turret lead for LGD as they free up that bottom lane. And a good job by Salme is just going to freeze the lane and AFK farm.
PYL on the chase, misses the hook, and well, actually, even if he did hit it, I think that XQ wouldn't really be able to bring Weishao down quickly enough. But a nice try. PYL is letting the enemies know that he's the danger right now.
Yeah, he missed a grab there in that last fight, but he has been hitting a lot of them so far, so not perfect, but still looking good, especially for a Blitzcrank. And in case you guys are wondering, the reason you don't see Blitzcrank in every single game is because, well, you actually used to. He used to be very, very strong, but he had his mana regen nerfed, his base mana nerfed, and honestly, you get like 2 grabs level 1, and then you're out of mana. So really, really punishing unless you go 2v1 and don't have to worry about that. You can use your hooks to put on a lot of pressure, so working out. PYL 0-3 and his 80 carry 3-0. About the best duo lane you can hope for.
Yeah, and talking about the pressure, Weishao and Conan, they were about to bring the turret in the top lane down, actually started dealing a lot more damage to it, then backed away. And now LGD, they bring the top turret down, and it's 2-0.
The flash grab misses from PYL. Threads right through the uprights. 3 points for PYL, but he can't find any kills off the back of that. This Orianna build is the real deal. 110 CS at the 10-minute mark, so making it look good. And he'll just run around, farm the Wraith camp, and he's actually farming the enemy Wraith camps too, just to make sure he gets as many jungle creeps as humanly possible. I'm not sure if he stole that one away as the camera didn't show it, but LGD now posturing for the dragon. It's up in 5 seconds. They had the last one stolen away from them, so they definitely want to make sure they are in position for dragon number 2.
But look at that, Sin is in vicinity, so he might want to steal once again. Or they might want to go for a fight. Tron loses a lot of health.
On to XQE did use the slow cleanse, which is still on the Relentless Pursuit in this patch. So clearing out the ward coverage. LGD still want this, but like you said, Axine, he's always in the area for the steal.
Yeah, and Tron lost a lot of health to just this dragon. Not even a single attack from World Lead landed on him, but he already lost a lot of health, so it is risky. Conan level 4, he's gonna go down to this dragon pretty quickly if he gets focused.
Now,
on
LGD
it.
are already making the call to push bottom lane, but with World Elite relinquishing their sort of holdout position, starting to make some moves, maybe looking to push up the mid lane with Salme, and then return to the dragon to put some pressure right back on. Now, Weizhao starts the dragon, and it looks like Axine are going in, so World Elite are on this dragon. What are LGD going to do to stop them?
Well, they're gonna push up bottom lane by a little bit, then come back and do nothing. Oh, Tron is going for the ultimate.
That Tron has a huge shield off of that, but look at the grabs. They're coming out. Weishao dies instantly, and now LGD are there to force the fight. Salme's got his ult on, but it might not be enough. The flashing from 17 can't kill him. He survives there with just the last sliver of his health. Same thing for PYL as he goes down very low. And a nice pick on Weizhao. LGD come out the fight ahead.
Oh wow, PYL throws out the hook hoping that he'll catch someone, and he caught the 80 carry of the enemy team. That was just incredible. However, the shockwave missed completely, and that's what stopped LGD from getting any further kills.
Oh my gosh, how do you thread the entire team with a Blitzcrank hook and pick out Weizhao from the middle of his team? Like, oh my goodness, that's pretty impressive. PYL is making that Blitzcrank look good. And here we're going to see the replay on this. Just watch this PYL hook. He nails Weizhao right from the middle of his entire team. Blows him up, and that's all she wrote there. 17 tries for this pick on Salme at the very end, but honestly, you're trying to take down the tankiest member of of World Elite. And LGD kind of misfocusing there. They could have turned and killed Conan and run into Ninja too, but almost wind up losing PYL there. An incredible grab, giving LGD their 4th kill of the game. This one is actually on Twen, not on XQ.
Yeah, but still, unfortunately, the shockwave missed. It had a potential of hitting like 3 people right there, but everyone just flashed away from that or just used their gap closest or whatever to try and run away, and they did. But the middle lane push is coming. They have a lot of minions.
Ward jump forced out there by PYL. Not too confident, Lee Sin. Or Axine. Or just Sin. It's gonna be weird, because I want to say like Lee Sin and then actual Sin. It's a struggle. But when you go for a name like Sin, you better be good at Lee. And he's been okay, but just much better coverage across the map from Chuen. That was supposed to be a mismatch in favor of World Elite, but honestly, Sin's been struggling, Sao Mei's been struggling, Wei Zhao especially. I mean, he has a CS advantage, but he's down 0-1 versus a 3-0 Lucian, who will have a much higher pressure until the very, very late game.
So LGD, they do have a little bit of an advantage, of course, in objectives and kills and everything, but World Elite, the Dragons, are what keeps them in the game. Just look at the gold difference. It's not too big. 1.5k at 15th minute mark. It's nothing.
Wei Zhao and Conan, once again, just sticking themselves down bottom lane, but look at PYL. I feel like we need to cast this like a golf game, like PYL sneaks up through the brush, misses the grab horribly, walks back away. All right, so no grabs for PYL. He's got hands on cooldown, so he'll look for that one to come back up. But now a 2v3 shaping up here, an advantage for World Elite, but oh, I didn't even see Chuan. In my defense, he was invisible, so understandable. 3v3 down bottom lane and solo lanes across the map.
Oh, 17 going for a little bit of an aggression, but yeah, killing a Mundo, it's a hard task.
Now LGD putting on a lot of pressure. They know PYL can force this by landing a grab, but he gets it on to Wei Zhao, gets the knockup, an immediate burst, and I'm pretty sure Wei Zhao killed himself by jumping through the box, but the burst from XQ gets the kill.
Turret on Chuan.
And look at the turret. Yeah, you can't kill that. Now, oh, XQ is going to be the one taking the turret. One more hit of the turret shot. One cleaver's all it's going to take. Can XQ make it out alive there? He's going to be able to Relentless Pursuit back out, and he stays alive. Wayless now coming in to clean things up. Sao Mei is going to look for the suicide, and he can't get it, understandably, in the middle of 3 members of the enemy team. 1 for 3 globally off of that, and just incredible dive there. The grab from PYL, about as easy as it comes.
Oh, wow, 8-2 in favor of LGD right now, and it's just PYL. The aggressiveness and the accuracy is incredible on his side. And the turret, the inner turret in the bottom lane is low. The outer turret in the middle lane is low. However, Ninja is on the aggression.
Oh, but he walks right into the command shockwave. Not quite right here he wants to be. Now, Axine kind of overdove for that one. He was not where he needed to be. Ninja, so low. XQ, he's not going to reach in deep down inside of himself and pull it out of his inner UZI and go for the super dive, but does wind up taking down the 3rd turret of the game for LGD. It's not quite a 25-minute win, but they are looking poised to strike some big grouping up in the early team fights. Once again, punishing World Elite.
Okay, so in the picks and bans, I said World Elite, they give away the Lucian to LGD while they take away the Thresh from PYL and Lee Sin from Chuan. That was a bad idea. 7-0 to Lucian, 100% kill participation right now. Infinity Edge getting close to the static shift.
Now,
wow.
Interesting to see a little bit of maybe copycat status coming on. The Spirited Spectral Wraith for both mid laners. Not with the Doctor ordered. AP Kog'Maw, it might look cool on him, but he functions just completely differently. And because Wayless has been stealing his Wraith camps, it's actually been way more effective. Another crab on a Wei Zhao! It's almost going to go down here. He baits XQ with the heal. And that is a little bit of a less impressive Lucian performance. The heal bait, too strong. The grab is still good. Now Chuen is being hunted down here. Axine saw him off to the side, but Conan might look for a grab. Can't hit it on the PYL.
Yeah, Wei Zhao gets a lot of gold from the shutdown bonus. But still, he's always getting
another grab hits him, but PYL gets juked out by Wei Zhao's nice micro there. He disjoints the Blitzcrank grab and jumps his way out alive.
No way that PYL always hits the hook on Wei Zhao. If he misses it, he just misses it.
Wei Zhao's got like magnets in his pockets or something. I don't know, but PYL setting up for another grab. Wei Zhao's right in his face. Is he looking for it? Can he land it? Looking for the cooldown. Where is it? He hits him again, but again the jump to disjoint the grab particle. Now with the exhaust coming down onto Wei Zhao. Can they kill him up there? He gets it onto PYL, but Wei Zhao falls. It's a 2 for 2. Wei Zhao in full, or World Elite rather, in full retreat. Still dies, but PYL is a monster on these grabs.
Oh, that was so unfortunate. I think that PYL died to Conan's Ignite right there, but he stayed alive like 10 HP, and I was like, yes, he made the hooks happen, and then he stayed alive, but unfortunately, no. But still, a nice fight for LGD once again.
LGD, I believe they also got the dragon off of that, so big gold lead for them. Just about 8,000 gold, sitting on a big lead. 6,000 gold. My math is 10 out of 10 tonight. Looks like 17 will be able to steal the red buff away. No, it was Wayless who got the red buff, so putting that extra damage to monsters to use from his Spirit of the Spectral Wraith.
Alright, so I actually think that the red buff on Orianna is a little bit better than on a Kassadin, just because of the passive that Orianna has. She hurts a lot with auto attacks too.
Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about where this game is headed. First of all, 7-1 for XQ's Lucian, and I don't think that's a surprise to anyone as one of the best Lucian players out there. I've been hyping him up, and I'm glad he's delivering so I don't look really bad. Also, a lot of other big XQ Lucian fans out there, so I know they must be pretty happy too. Sao Mei is not going to be looking too hot here. He does have his ultimate on, and will be able to hit enough mobility to maybe make it out of here alive. He's got a lot of health and magic resistance, but with PYL coming in from behind,
oh no.
Can't run fast enough. 17 finally chases him down. And Sao Mei, like, look at the items that he has. How do you kill that with just magic damage? It's pretty rough, but LGD make it happen, and they kill the teleport. That's a strategy that a lot of Korean teams developed. It's just like you gank the TP, and then you don't have to worry about them coming to help out the rest of their team.
And, well, even though PYL didn't manage to do anything in this top lane, how do you feel when there's such a beastie Blitzcrank running at your face with like 500 to 600 movement speed? Oh, that must be scary.
It's true. PYL with those items, if he's running move speed runes, he's up at like 575, but still, it's going to be ridiculous to run away from him. Not something that you can do, even with Muno's sadism turned on, so. You can see Sao Mei is setting up for a Spirit Visage, but he's also kind of like simultaneously trying to build a Sunfire Cave, so neither one of those items really complete right now. Still a very vulnerable Dr. Mundo, 0-3 at 21 minutes.
Yeah, and the top lane Kassadin works out for LGD and not for World Elite, unfortunately. 2-1-6 right now. 6 assists is definitely a good thing to have there. And pretty much the whole lineup of LGD is just doing so well.
Sao Mei just trying to split, but when you have a, oh no, big rotation coming in from LGD, but they turn around. I think they could have caught Conan there, especially with the way PYL has been landing hooks here, but it might just be a look to gank on Sao Mei again. So much pressure here. Conan will land a death sentence on a Chuen. He throws the lantern back, and they are going to get him out there. The Voidoo's lands as well, but nobody going to chase. The call from LGD is top lane. Culling coming out there. Another death sentence comes out, but it's just not enough. Close, but no cigar. Now it's PYL's turn to dish out the grabs.
And they are still looking for the aggression. Right now, World Elite, they cannot really do anything in a fight, and if they get caught, they get obliterated. So, what do they want to do? Just give away the turrets to LGD? That's gonna be the end of the game. They have to try to at least get a pick. To get Wei Xiao fed. Actually, he got the shutdown bonus from XQ, so that's already quite good. So this Tristana builds up a little bit better. But, yeah, still, World Elite so far behind.
Yeah, we down about 7,000 gold at this point. So, and it's more important to notice where that gold is. Wayless's farming skills on the Spirit of the Spectral Wraith Orianna have been just spectacular. He is out farming his game 1 score. Game 1, I think he had like 320 CS at 24 minutes. And he's only at 300 this time, but he's got a much longer game to farm this out with. Just incredible farming. Spirit of Spectral Wraith is paying off. He has a 60, what is that, an 80 CS lead? 75 CS lead over Ninja, who went the same build, looking to farm things out himself.
Yeah, and that's huge, and especially if you shut down an AP Kog'Maw, even though Ninja didn't go down any single time in this game, he still got pretty much shut down in the lane by how good Wayless is playing.
And there's another blue buff, this time stolen away by LGD. World Elite couldn't even contest it. Like, Xiaomei was in the area, but honestly, they're just letting it go. Been watching enough Frozen to know to pass that one up.
So as you said, 7.5 now. Okay, gold difference in favor of LGD, and it's just 3 turrets to 1. If LGD start getting more turrets, well, this gold lead is gonna look quite bad for World Elite, actually. So it's not like they're in a worse position right now. It's gonna get worse and worse.
Oh, and they're all gonna go over the wall. Who takes the lantern, though? Yeah, a little bit sneaky here. They pink ward the Baron, and this is super sneaky. LGD have no idea this is going down. That's how. Oh my gosh.
The teleport.
This is brilliant. They TP in. Wayless is there. He's going to pop the ghost button. LGD are coming into it. The smite is good for Axine, but he dies here. And this could be terrible. LGD are going to smash World Elite. 17 TPs behind the turret. Gets the kill. Now kiting backwards. Ninja has a lot of damage, but he doesn't have enough teammates. There he flashes over the wall, but right into the enemy team. World Elite. A sneaky Baron works out. They get it. But they get aced. LGD off the perfect counter. 5-for-0 exchange.
A triple for 17, 1 for Juan, and well, it's an ace for LGD right there. They will get the inhibitor most probably. However, the death timers aren't too big. It's just the 25th minute in the game where Xiao, Conan, and Sin are already back.
Oh my gosh. If LGD can't win right here. I was going to say, like, they might rival their game 1 24-minute victory if they go for a 25-minute win, but they will take the inhibitor off of this, and no follow-up from Axine. Let's get a little bit of a replay of this. You can see the smite come down from Axine. Gonna be watching that when he gets the Q, hits the smite, and narrowly misses 17 stealing. But look at that shockwave, just dirty. Wei Zhao gets over the wall, but 17 is like, hey, I can jump walls too. Takes him out in the back, and from here on out is all she wrote. XQ just runs straight into 3 people and doesn't even care because he's got the rest of his team right there. 17 grabs himself another kill, and Wayla's just coming in from behind. Perfect grab onto Ninja. He's like, get over here, and takes him out. Fatality onto the Kog'Maw, and a big push up mid lane. Follow that up from World Elite. Trying it, a nice 2-man insect. He doubled up the insect there, but I don't think this is a fight World Elite want to face. They will take out PYL as the first casualty. Actually narrowly escaping with just the last sliver of his HP. And a nice pick there by World Elite. They get the tower, get the kill, and get out alive.
So finally they get something for themselves, but that is a little bit too late. If they managed to stay alive after this Baron, that would have been perfect. World Elite could have had the chance to come back into this game, but instead they got aced, and they didn't even kill a single member of LGD's lineup. So right now LGD is just gonna buy up some more items and steamroll over World Elite, most probably.
Look at the difference here between the mid laners. There's an 80 CS advantage, and to put things in perspective, like Ninja has 3 items completed, whereas Wayless has almost enough gold to 6 slot himself. So, I don't know, man. This is just impressive. Like, Wayless is hard carrying every single one of these games. And to be fair, if you compare every lane, LGD are just winning across the board. Last game, Xiaomei had a horrible performance on his top lane Kassadin, and 17 is 5-1-7. But of course, he does have a better team to work with that Kassadin pick. Now LGD, now it's their turn to push. They lose their mid turret off of the counter push from World Elite. Now they're looking to make them pay. Difficult to push versus an AP Kog'Maw and the Voidus, but the Devil Pink wards will at least help them keep this push alive. They don't do it with Baron buff or anything to sustain themselves, but with the Blitzcrank to land grabs, this should be a very high pressure situation for World Elite to deal with.
And they have a Kassadin to hop over the wall if they want to, with a Shockwave too, so well, LGD can try to go for it. And yeah, there's no middle lane at all for World Elite. So LGD might be looking for a flank. Oh,
a little bit questionable on that Shockwave. Not quite what Wayless was looking for. Another grab to come out here in 3, 2. Okay, he's not going to go for it. He's just counting the cooldowns. But with Super Minions pushing in mid, that is going to take a lot of presence from World Elite to deal with. And LGD starting to get a little bit antsy. Put the ball onto PYL. Looking for the grab. He's going to speed his way up there. Not going to find anything just yet.
Not just yet,
Oh,
but
misses it onto Conan. Just barely.
LGD, they deal a lot of damage on towards this turret, so it already is a good thing for them.
Kind of confusing to see XQ go for the static shiv instead of a Trinity Force. The Trinity Force by and far the item of choice for Lucians everywhere, but is focusing more on like a crit focused build, but still has those CDR boots. So kind of questionable. Usually you go for attack speed, but now XQ just continuing to push forward. Takes a little bit of extra damage and a couple turret shots, so he's actually down pretty low. Will need to back off to heal himself up.
Alright, so 11 kills advantage in favor of LGD right there. 4 turrets. And actually, World Elite is still ahead in the Dragons, so that's a good thing for them, but that's pretty much where the good things end for WE.
PYL, you just heard the end of another missed grab coming his way. He hit a lot of them early on, but honestly hasn't been impressing me too much. Wait, what? Wei Xiao just jumped in on a 7. Where did that even come from? Wei Xiao just Goomba stomps him. 17, didn't know what happened. He rip walked and flashed away, and he still couldn't get out of there in time. Wei Xiao with a nice 1v1.
Alright, and that is exactly what World Elite need. Another shutdown bonus for Wei Xiao right there. If this Tristana gets fed enough, they might be able to come back into this game, especially having this Kog'Maw right there. And Mundo, who will finally be unkillables at some point in the game.
You can never count anybody out, or any team out of LPL. There's been the craziest throws and comebacks and turnarounds, whatever you want to call them, that I've ever seen from any region. And even though World Elite find maybe a little bit of a breath of fresh air off of a pick onto 17 and another shutdown, like you said, for Wei Xiao, still not sure they're out of the woods just yet. They've got a Dr. Mundo who has completed his 2 tank items, but doesn't have like Ninja Tabby or anything like big for the boots upgrade. They have 2 carries. They're actually starting to get pretty farmed. Ninja almost completing his big 4th item, the Void Staff coming out. And 80 carry that's got 4 of his final 6 items. So they're getting there. But LGD, now it's going to be their turn to start the Baron. And something tells me this may go slightly better when they try it.
Oh well, but Sin has had some nice steals in this game already. So things may happen, but still it's gonna be a 5v4. Even with World Elite Baroned up, I think LGD would still be able to pull off the push. Well, we'll see. The vision is gonna be there, because there's a Ninja's ultimate too. So
We're going to start things up. Look at how fast LGD are doing that Baron. Holy hell. Another grab, this time on a Salme. He gets blown apart before he can even tank anything. He doesn't even have time to turn on his ultimate. He died so quickly. Nice Dragon's Rage from Sin is going to make this a much more difficult fight to chase. And Wayless gets juked out by Sin going over the wall. Still looking for the move speed. PYL's got his back. 1 grab is all it's going to take, but not finding any kills there. Salme dies before he ults. That's impressive to take down a Mundo full to 0 before he can hit the R button. Flash grab from PYL, not going to land either.
He went for a flash grab 2 times in this game and missed it 2 times. But still, I think that this hook was 100% aimed at Conan, but actually Salme was just behind this thresh and got grabbed in.
How many times have we seen that? Game 1 and 2, members of World Elite will be like, hey, I don't want to get hooked. And so they juke the hook, but just leave it to hit one of their team members, which is probably not the best teamwork.
And hey, it's always Conan that dodges it. The previous game, he dodged the hook that hit Salme, also Salme, who was back then on a Cassidy. This is just Incredible.
That is true. And look at XQ, the build he's going for. Picks up a Bloodthirster. It's kind of red, white, and blue right now. You mix him some yellow there too. Full offensive items. He's built essentially 6 items that all deal damage. And he's still sticking with the Doran's Blade. But you'll actually notice the Infinity Edge is not very good in this build because it actually points the opposite direction from all of his other swords. So just missing out on a little bit of that synergy, but still dealing an incredible amount of damage. That's insane to think about. He's got Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Bloodthirster, Static Shiv, and cooldown boots for incredible mobility. LGD are just sitting incredibly well. Narrow recall there from Axine, who almost died there in that bush by Dragon.
Alright, so there's nothing to stop LGD outside of the base of World Lead right now. So World Lead, all they have to do is turtle the turrets, but is that gonna be successful? I doubt it. Right now, LGD are just too strong.
Big credit to Ninja, who's actually brought himself way back in this the CS war. He was down by like 80 or 90 CS earlier on, and he's brought it back to within 30. So that's pretty impressive, Ninja. Granted, he has been in a lot of siege situations where he's been taking all the CS, which has put the rest of his team behind, but LGD looking to zone in here to take down the turret, and they do. Chuan's gonna actually engage on Conan, blows him apart. Now Sao Mei's gonna fall down. He narrowly got his ultimate off, but he just died instantly afterwards, actually killed himself faster by sacrificing his own HP. And now with 2 inhibitors down, this will be LGD pushing in for the win. Can World Elite come back from this? A nice kick from Axine, but it's just not enough. Wei Xiao's gonna get exploded. Ninja in the back. He explodes himself on death and will come out of the fountain alive. He's gonna pop that Seraph's Embrace, and 17 just blew him apart. Holy hell, Axine trying to stop the minion waves from coming in. But he is not gonna stop that Nexus from going down. LGD take a 2-0 win versus World Elite.
Oh, wow. It is outstanding. LGD, they do take a 2-0, and some of the casters actually predicted it. I would have never thought that this would happen so easily, at least. World Lead, and Sao Mei, he's definitely not having a good day. Finished 0-6-0 on this Mundo, and then didn't have a good time on a Kassadin in the previous game either.
No kills on his Kassadin in either last game. So LGD keep their playoff dreams alive with a 2-0 win over World Elite, and that is so important. If they had lost just one game, would have been out of the playoffs. But now we got to look forward to our games from next week. It is Invictus Gaming taking on World Elite Academy. Of course, we Academy are out of playoff contention. They are actually solidly in relegation, and I'm not sure if IG can make it into playoffs either. It might be really, really difficult for them. But EDG, they are poised for first place, and they'll be taking on the incredibly hot, the super hot, if you will, roster of LGD coming off their 2-0 victory versus we. Can they take out second place team in LPL currently? EDG looking incredibly strong. So we'll find out then. That's going to do it for our broadcast here tonight. Make sure to come back tomorrow, a couple hours later than this. So at 1800 or 1815 China time, I believe it is, for the Demacia Cup. We'll have that action coming for you tomorrow. My name is Rapid. I've been here with Nero, and we've been broadcasting the LPL in English to you guys here on Twitch TV, of course made possible in part by our friends at Games in Asia and Esports Heaven. Well, thank you guys all for coming out and watching, witnessing some incredible moments here at LPL. Make sure to come back next week, same time, same channel. Want to thank all of you for coming out, tuning in. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the Demacia Cup. Thanks for watching, and have a good night. Is such a good early positioning kind of team that they just really heavily punished them. They didn't let them AFK farm, they forced them to fight. They just showed them how much better they were as far as their early to mid game team comp versus World Elite's late game.
Right, so the picks and bans phase was something that we didn't expect from World Elite. Of course, right now, Lucian in the middle lane is quite a strong champion, but I still think that it works better in the AD carry position, but this Kassadin in the top lane, that was the most interesting thing. I think it was more about not giving it away to LGD than taking it for themselves, because they certainly didn't have a plan going into this game for this Kassadin, as he didn't do anything, as I said.
All right, well, coming into game number 2, I'm expecting at least one Lucian, but you always have to keep an eye on the top lane. And honestly, last game, there were 3 top lane bans. Well, I mean, there was an Alistar ban, which could be top lane or support. We haven't really seen it top in China at all just yet, so still waiting on that fad to get over here. It's all the rage in EU, but it might make its way this direction. Coming up in time for playoffs, which should be, let's see, this is, or next week is the last week of LPL of the regular season, so we're coming to a close, and if you're looking for first place, well, you have to get there now. And at least a couple of predictions for who will wind up in first place depended on that last game. I believe for World Elite to get first place, they had to 2-0, but with their loss in game 1, then, well, they kind of put themselves out of the running for that.
There is a big possibility of the tiebreakers anyway. Right now, after OMG actually lost a game yesterday, after World Elite lost a game right now, and Starhorn putting up some kind of a weird performance actually too, because they split 1-1. So the standings are still quite close, and the tiebreakers, as I said, will most probably be happening right here. But still, we do have EDG playing some games. We do have OMG playing a best of 2 next week. But Starhorn, they are the guys that will not play anymore.
That's true. Starhorn are done, and that's a pretty big advantage because that allows them to just kind of AFK farm some practice games from now up until the playoffs of the Chinese regionals. So it's really good for them because they get a long time to practice. But for all the other LPL teams, they have to fight it out until the very end. This guy's doing something like crazy with his eyebrows as they hand over him. I don't know what's up with that. Just showing the huge Chinese crowd that's come out tonight with the biggest teams in LPL fighting it out. It's nice to see the fans coming out to cheer them on. So just waiting it out while we fix some issues before our second game of the night. We talked about what World Elite had to do to get first place, but for LGD, they are just looking to make the playoffs. They need to 2-0 World Elite to keep their playoff dreams alive. Now, I believe if they do 2-0 World Elite, then they still have one more game to play next week. So it's close. It's good, and it's looking good for LGD to get the 2-0 over we.
Yeah, definitely. They are looking for the playoffs right here, so it's a shot at the World Championship. So that definitely is a big thing, to say the least. And World Elite, they do have it secured already, so...
On Twitch TV, of course made possible in part by our friends at Games in Asia and Esports Heaven. My name is Rapid, I'm here with Nero, and you can see the Game 1 stats on your screen. LGD with a 24-minute victory versus World Elite. The late game never came. World Elite will drop game number 1. And the MVP, of course, in the mid lane is Wayless. 503. They spirited the Spectral Wraith Orianna. Farmed up the Storm and just kind of one-shot everybody.
And just showed up at the very ending of the game, actually. But yeah, the thing that worries me the most is Xiaomei in the top lane. He didn't do pretty much anything in this game. He had this Cassidon, but he wasn't roaming a lot because he was in the top lane, so there's not much of a roaming opportunity for him. Then when he used the teleport, he just went down in the bottom lane, and then World Elite just failed their rotations, which led to them losing the middle lane inhibitor and eventually the game. So World Elite definitely not at the top form, and well, they are looking for the first place, and it's not the way that they will find it.
Well, it's the way Wayless will find it. An incredible performance there. Against a late game team comp, he picked an item that let him hit a power spike that we all thought was going to come like way later on in the game, but he had like 3.5 to 4 items by the 25-minute mark, and that's pretty impressive, and put them to very impressive use. Took out World Elite, just dismantled the entire team at the end there. So World Elite, they've switched their strategy or lack thereof up to this sort of farm for the late game, pick hyper carries kind of deal. And LGD, especially not Ninja from that last game, that did not do it for me as far as mid lane Lucians were concerned. But it's locked in for LGD, and this will probably be an AD carry Lucian because it's one of the XQ's strongest champions.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we do have the World Lead strat to give away the Lucian and take away the other comfortable champions, like Thresh from BYL and Lee Sin from Chuan. But Wayless, if he goes for this Orianna once again, it definitely is going to be a strong one, but we need someone to engage on the lineup of LGD, so we'll get to see what champion it is for the top lane.
Oh, they're going for the Invisible. The Invisible champion might be locking in the Elite, or the
Evelynn.
Evelynn. It's hovered over. It's not locked in just yet, and they still can go for things like Elise, Jarvan, even Lee Sin's left open, but they wound up giving that away to World Elite a little bit earlier. So Sin on Lee Sin up against an Evelynn is actually a pretty good matchup for World Elite, but look at the lock-in from Ninja. AP Kog'Maw bringing it out again, looking for the late game. World Elite. If it doesn't work first time, maybe second time's the charm.
Now we'll get to see. So Kog'Maw once again for Ninja. It's always an interesting thing to see this AP Kog'Maw call into play, but it usually fails, so if it finally explodes and does really well, like UZI getting a pentakill, so maybe Ninja gets a pentakill this game, then it's definitely gonna be outstanding. But on the other hand, Blitzcrank hovered over by PYL, and it's gonna get locked in.
Oh, but wait a second. No.
So they might give a chance to LGD.
A chance, yes, but how good a chance is that going to be? LGD, at least as far as going 2-0 this game, it was predicted by, I believe, one of the casters. We'll see if they can make it happen. Hopping into picks and bans for game number 2, LGD. They're your team on the left, of course, taking on World Elite in the red on the right. First ban will be Rengar versus Axine, and honestly, I think Rengar is one of Axine's worst champions, or at least it's one that he's been struggling on lately. Confusing to see the bans target him so early on, and it should actually be a relatively similar ban phase. Looking for an Alistar ban here from LGD, because they did ban those 3 champions out last game.
Yep, and World Elite, well, they don't really need to switch anything up.
Yeah, there's the Alistar ban.
But if they don't switch anything up, it's gonna be a bad time for them once again. And if they do, it still is gonna be a bad time for them, because they will give away some other champions to LGD. At this point, World Elite are definitely struggling a lot, right? They had very comfortable champions the previous game. They had the Tristana on Wei Xiao most importantly, and it still didn't work out.
So last ban coming in here for Wii. Do you ban the Corki? Do you ban the Orianna? Like, I'm not sure. Make away from LGD. They'll ban the Jax from 17. I don't really feel like that was the problem. I mean, Sao Mei didn't have a good lane phase against him, but honestly, that was not the issue. And with the ban on Jax, you give up Lucian? Like, Maokai and Lucian, like, those are kind of the must bans so far, but I don't think a lot of teams have really realized the true potential of Lucian.